Rasheeda barged into the room. With the news engulfing her like a tsunami and burning in her eyes, she was determined to confront the root of her heartbreak. "What have you just said?" She insisted on speaking in a severe and demanding manner, leaning her arms back, leaning against the wall, and grinning while saying, "I have a baby." He is behaving as though Kirk is his dad. Delivering the most positive news imaginable, Rasheeda's heart started to sag. She was inside, full of surprise and rage. "You're absolutely nuts if you think you can just come in here with that information." Jasmine shrugged and said, "That's not my fault since you failed to discipline him." These were really piercing remarks. "Rasheeda's fury seems like a game to you. You're trying to destroy my family because of a mistake." Jasmine stepped forward, a hint of disobedience visible in her eyes. "Oh, not just a mistake. This is genuine, Rasheeda. You cannot dispute that this is taking place. You don't know that Rasheeda's blood boiled. I refuse to let you take my life because you can't handle who you are." Jasmine laughed, but it was frigid and unpleasant. "You're not getting the full picture." Kirk took his stand. This baby changed everything. The room was filled with tension. With unspoken words and unresolved emotions, Rasheeda moved in her direction. Steady, venomous voice combined with a low tone. "You seem to be winning. I'll fight for my union, and I'll fight for my family. You won't just take that out." From my perspective, Jasmine's brows went up. Expressiveness, a mixture of arrogance and lighthearted disagreement, as much as you like, but love doesn't disappear just because you're angry. He's tired of your antics. Rasheeda clenched her hands and took a deep breath. To help her relax, you tell her that this is all theater. This is my family and my life. You are nothing more than a diversion. Rasheeda's projection, if anything, Jasmine retorted to her in a caustic manner. "I'm the one who has made him the promise of happiness. It's been a long time since you completed the you think that." Rasheeda got furious. "When you come in here and act like this place is yours, you're going too far." Rasheeda lifted her hand and gave Jasmine a hard slap across the face before she had a chance to think. Jasmine was stunned and furious at her for leading you to assume that this was a joke as the sounds echoed through the tense atmosphere. With a deep breath, Rasheeda hissed, "Adrenaline, you have no idea who you are." Manipulating Jasmine in an attempt to calm her down, her face taking on a strong, visible brilliance. "Please, I'm afraid of that slap." Suffered more, Rasheeda walked around the living room, her heart racing from the strain of the chatter. She was shocked to hear about the shocking betrayal that she had discovered just the day before, which was as sharp as a knife. She found the thought of it to be extremely unsettling. Unbearable, her husband, Kirk, was having a more intimate connection than she would have considered. Taking a breathing deeply, she summoned the courage to confront him. Kirk opened his mouth to say something. "I have to know the truth, even though I'm shivering. I've heard rumors about my mother and you." Kirk's face became pale, and for a moment he appeared genuinely confused. "What are you talking about, Rasheeda?" She expressed her outburst of wrath over you, saying, "I swear never to lie to me. Cannot keep denying this. I have proof." "Kirk, could you really hurt me like this?" She looked astonished and shot back, "It's not what you believe about your mother and myself," indicating that he was unprepared for the confrontation. "You should be walking around confidently, but instead you're hiding. You were supposed to be my friend. When you had my mother, how could you betray me? The tension in the atmosphere is attractive to me." Rasheeda folded her arms, her heart heavily fractured with the weight of shattered trust. She kept staring at him, waiting for him to explain, but it seemed like the statements got stuck in his throat. He kept circling the room, as if he were searching for something that had slipped my mind. Eventually, he was able to say, shifting from being defensive to saying that it wasn't for her, nothing was meaningful. Asked, startled, "Do you really think that makes it better? This is my mother, not just a short-term relationship. It's more than just a betrayal of our union. It's a betrayal of family." Kirk stepped aside. There was an even deeper anguish etched in his features. "Please allow me to heal, Rasheeda. We can work this out if you give me a chance to explain what's going on." Rasheeda's voice faltered as she spoke, Not because of fear, but rather because of the excruciating pain that's hers. You chose her over me. Breached an impenetrable barrier and felt the silence that followed suffocate him. Rasheeda was battling He was unable to see how shattered she was because of the tears that appeared to fall all over her. More than that, her mind raced with memories of their love for one another. Soiled by his betrayal, your activities have ramifications. Kirk, she had a combative voice. She talked firmly, even in the storm. Inside of her, I deserve better than this. Deserve loyalty and respect, especially for my own spouse. You have betrayed my confidence in a way that shocked me. Anguish obscured Kirk's vision as he found it hard to express in words. Never meant to hurt you. It just happened because I was weak and not thinking. Thinking that wasn't your justification. Rasheeda disregarded anger in her comments. You are an adult. Therefore, you should have known. Even better, you decided to mislead me in the first place rather than just making this mistake. In the worst way possible, she turned her back on him. Required breathing space in order to assimilate the chaos was pumping through her heart. I'm not even certain. She spoke a murmur. Look at you now. She clutched the door, her voice cracking. You've gone too far. This is not something you can overcome. Kirk took a picture of his hand. Rasheeda, please don't grab her wrist. Keep going instead of leaving. His statement, I love you, hung in the air, but Rasheeda felt a wave of emotions wash over her. Her love was untainted and genuine. She reiterated that loving families were separated. It's unbelievable how your actions are the complete antithesis of love. How can I ever trust you again? She's sobbing and she's back to see you. She let go of her arm, her heart pounding, hurt, but steadfast in her decision. It takes me a while to feel like you've destroyed everything we worked so hard to build, and I'm not sure I'll ever be able to look at you the same way again. As she stepped out into the rush of cold night air washed over her, anchoring her so that she felt both lost and burden-free in the middle of the pandemonium. Kirk's dishonesty greatly troubled her. Kirk stood by her side alone, struggling with the fallout from his choices and realizing that he could have just lost Stormy 25, the love of his life, who he had been dating for a year and who seemed to be a hip-hop artist in Atlanta that he adored. Rasheeda has now reached her breaking point, and he is ready to file for divorce from her. According to rumors, he is married to Kirk Frost. For an extended period, Rasheeda has put up with Kirk's and never-ending parade of adultery totally over his deceit and dishonesty. Union Kirk has attracted more notice from the media. His actions have continuously caused them suffering. More than 3 times for his disgusting behavior, with among the most memorable occasions was his betrayal on television whilst on a getaway about hip-hop and love. This scene evolved into renown for its intensity and Kirk's brazen deception of paternity when Rasheeda was expecting a kid in season 2, was a link to the root of the massive drama eruption that shook them throughout season 3. To prove his paternity, Kirk tested his DNA, a choice that made things worse and left Rasheeda reeling in their turbulent relationship. Marrying also results in dramatic disputes. Rasheeda seems ready to take back control of her life and terminate a marriage that's clearly been a tumultuous soap opera, especially with Shirlene, her mother, who famously ran Kirk's motorcycle over during a violent argument, despite their age. Opera, if the allegations regarding the divorce prove to. Yes, that would be a significant shift. For Rasheeda, a seasoned cast member renowned for juggling her career, family, and children's tumultuous relationship with Kirk, unquestionably a journey for the record books, that of Rasheeda. After years of lying, many people are backing Rasheeda's decision to break off her relationship with Kirk Frost. It seems that Rasheeda is sick of being Kirk's sidekick. Dishonesty and deceit, choosing to put her peace of mind and happiness first as she leaves the tumultuous. Union Kirk shook his head violently. Nothing at all, nothing at all. It was as though she had vanished with the money, and I was left desperately trying to figure out what had happened. According to People's Resources, I'm currently entangled in a web of accusations that I'm hiding, but in reality, I'm the one who has hurt Jessica. She said, "What are you doing to deal with these accusations and get your possessions back?" With more sympathy. Kirk assumed a steely appeal. Decide that even if I've already started with legal seedlings, this will be challenging. Struggle, but I'm resolved to reclaim what is rightfully mine. It's not simply about the cash. This relates to disclosing the facts and clearing my record. I want everyone to know that I'm not just kicking back. Taking charge, Jessica leaned back, evaluating the relevance of Kirk's comments because of the case's notoriety. There will probably be a lot of public interest in how you're managing the stress and the impact on your reputation. Kirk took a long breath. Resolve and exhaustion mixed together in his gaze. I'm stressed up because the public is watching this so carefully, but I have to keep telling myself that I need to stay focused. Realizing that this involves more than simply my position and that it has to do with justice and ensuring that the truth gets revealed, Jessica gave a kind nod. Which point would you want to clarify? Your supporters throughout this tumultuous. Over time, Kirk's voice became quieter, but it stayed clear and steady. I truly appreciate it. To be completely honest, I want our support. I want to be really honest and open about everything. I'm done lying. I simply want to keep secrets now. He spoke with determination, his tone hardening. As she studied him, Rasheeda noticed that the tension in her shoulders had somewhat eased. Are you really prepared for the chaos that is about to happen? And it might hurt. He spoke in an upbeat manner, saying that messy was better than nothing. A fiery flame connected them. I want to battle to break away from this. I'm not interested in it. For what we had and what was still within our control. Has she reluctantly thought of his? In other words, trust is not going to be straightforward. Ruined, therefore we'll have to rebuild it from the ground up. He seemed to be speaking with some honesty, but if we are both willing to be honest, maybe we may find that our return won't be perfect, but I still want to try. Finally, Rasheeda opened her arms, her expression softening as the barrier between them began to collapse. All right, let's start with the truth. Everything regarding it. Kirk took a big breath. I was terrified, feeling both relieved and afraid at the same time. Rasheeda was scared. Scared I would make errors or lose you, so I lost myself in distractions. But that wasn't only to you, and I was also frightened. She admitted it and gave a little sigh. Lips scared to display frailty and a reoccurring injury, so I tried to take. Authority was the only way I knew of.